about 45 degrees. Just kind of maybe even take a visual of some peak or something so that you have these references. So you just stay there, because the higher you get, the easier it is to get way off to the side without maybe realizing it too much. And if I see you drifting where I'm not wanting you to be, I'm going to just say, you know, slide left a little bit, slide right a little bit. And by that I mean you just easy. We don't go into a big turn on toe, right? Because we want to keep those toe brushes. Right?
You don't need to record
just
it.
like on the load. You don't want to get offline. Okay, so I may say slide left a little bit, slide right a little bit. If we have some crosswind, I may say put about 10 degrees left, more heading to your left. And adjust your heading 10 degrees to the left or to the right a little bit. And by 10 degrees, I just mean boom, 20 degrees, 45 degrees, whatever. Okay. Look at the toe line, and what you're going to see is here's the ground, here's me, here's you. You're going to see that toe line as we get higher drop, have this droop. Okay, that's normal. So you may actually see the toe line kind of getting down by your feet, down by your toes. It'll drop down and then go out to the truck. You know, just keep your ankles crossed. Once you get off the ground and you're flying, ankles crossed, nice small ball. Okay. That way you aren't in oscillations. And don't worry if the toe line starts to drop down by your feet. Just keep the ankles crossed. It's no big deal. It's normal. The higher you get, the more the droop from the weight of the toe line. The other thing we're looking at is there any horizontal bend in the toe line? Meaning, as you're here, I'm there. If you see the toe line doing this, and you're following the road, that would indicate we have a crosswind from this side. Okay, and I'll be seeing that too, because I'm going to be talking to you during the tow. And I'll say, okay, can you see that horizontal bend to the left? Take that bend out. So if I see that bend, or you see it, just slide over a little bit and take the bend out. Okay? That would indicate we have a little crosswind. Now that's going to also put you off the side of the road a little bit. But that's fine, because if we have a crosswind from this side, I actually will want you to slide, I may say, slide to the north side. North, south, east, west. Okay. Slide to the north side a little bit, because that'll help take the bend out. And once you have that bend out, you're going to be kind of pointing straight into the wind where you're at, but the truck's running that way. So we set that crab angle, how much the wing is crabbed or angled, the heading, so that you're maintaining a ground track that's parallel in the road. Okay, so your heading may be this way, but in this crosswind you're pretty much into the wind, so your ground track's parallel in the road. Okay, if you don't put enough crabbing into it, well, you just keep drifting over and over further. What you're going to see is, I want you to kind of start being aware of the toe bridles in front of you, because if you get a little too cross-wind, you're going to see the toe bridles pulling off to the side. I want you to just turn the heading towards the side where the toe bridles are to keep them centered. Okay. That'll be clearer as you get more toes and stuff. And the nice thing is we have super light winds today as we're going up, forecasted. Things change. All right, so that's the whole thing with the tow line, tracking it, tracking the truck. adjusting your heading. If I tell you to adjust your heading a little bit, you know, and if I don't see you responding, I'm going to just kind of keep talking and repeating it. Because it may be that we lose radio from, you know, in which case you just follow the truck as much as you can. As we get towards the, well, as you're going along, a couple things can happen. One, you could have a weak link brake, because we're going to be hooking you to the weak link just like we did before, but now we're under some tension and stuff. So typically nothing ever happens during the tow. You get the whole flight, you pop your release, you verify you've released before you do any turns, and then we're in pre-flight. But if you're going up and you're flying along and suddenly, boom, you're just released from tow. You know, tension's all off, and you didn't pull it, two things could have happened. One, the weak link could have broke right there where you hooked it there. So if that ever happens, that suddenly you're released from tow and you didn't pull the release, we need to verify. Is it the weak link that broke? In which case you'll see your bridles all hooked together, but you won't see the big orange drogue out there. You remember seeing that as you were low towing? Yeah, and as you get high, you can see that drogue right there kind of by your feet and stuff. If you don't see the drogue, look at because the bridles are going to still be connected, just look at that and go, oh yeah, it was the weak link, because the weak link's not on that either. In which case, no big deal. I'll have seen the drogue will open and I'll be pulling it in. So no big issue. And even when you release and you're verifying your release from tow, see if you can identify, once you pop the release, watch the drogue and you'll see it out there. Okay. The other thing that could have happened, if it's not a weak link brake, is it could be a tow line brake. In which case, boom, you've released, you didn't pull the release, you look down, okay, I still see the drogue sitting there flapping on my feet. That means somewhere between you and me, the tow line break. So we have some undeterminable amount of line hanging down. What I want you to do is keep flying straight and do whatever you can to get that released. Now we know no tension, pulling that release isn't going to work. It's going to be smooth. You can just let go of the brakes. You're going to be in some reasonable air. Reach down, find your tow bridle, and you can put your foot in it, push against it, pop your release, or you can pull it up and pop that release. Just try not to let everything get tangled around your feet. And once you pop that release, just let it go, and you should see the drogue and everything float away from you. Now at that point, what I want you to do is keep your eye on this.
So we can find it again, yeah.
Because it will drift out in the middle of nowhere. So just look for that. And all the tows I've been doing, I've maybe had a handful of tow line breaks. And that's usually as the tow line starts getting a little old and worn. This tow is pretty damn new. So we shouldn't have any of that going on. But it can happen if for some reason on the spool, the line gets what we call a line dig. It gets pulled down into the other lines and it doesn't release, in which case there'll be it'll quit letting out line, and that tow line will just bam, it'll be broken. So a couple things that can happen during the tow concerning the line that you need to just be cognizant of. And if it's a tow line break, I'm going to immediately see it happen, because suddenly I'm going to have that spool just quit moving, because it's going to be staying out line the whole time. And if it just quits, I'm going, what the hell? And I'll look, and the line will just be loose.
Can you, when you're pulling something, can you feel it on your truck, or is it the weight difference too much?
I can feel a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So those things, yeah, you can deal with them. But the important thing is get rid of that tow line. And if you can't get rid of it, then just circle it. circle the line down there. That way you're kind of coiling it on the ground. The thing you don't want to do is just be flying away from it and have it snag something. Bam! So just get rid of it. Like I said, doesn't happen frequently, but you need to be aware of what to do if that happens. All right, so launch. We're going to just get you laid out as much into the wind as we can. There is no wind right now, so this is perfect. Nice no winder. It's in the road. I'm going to pull the truck. You're going to be laid out right back here in the road. I'm going to have the truck just up near a little ahead of you by the windsock. That way I can see the sock too. And we're going to, essentially go through the entire checklist. Checklist complete. You're going to give me the take up slack. I'm going to have some tension, just that light tension, take up slack tension, so nothing more than you were feeling before. And I'm going to pull forward just a little bit just to get, boom, that tension set. Drogue will kind of come off the ground a little bit. From there, I'm waiting on you for the bow. Okay? The little difference here is when you bow, just stand still. Okay? I'm going to start accelerating away. Stand still. Because what I want to do is get the truck up to about 20 miles an hour, about flying speed. So we take that speed variable out of it. I'm pulling you up at about your flying speed once you're off the ground. Right? So you bow. What do?
Wait for you to accelerate.
Yeah, you wait. I accelerate. You wait. As soon as, it won't take long, as soon as I have about 15-20 miles an hour, I'm going to start dialing tension up. So you'll bow, you'll wait, I accelerate, you'll stand there. When you feel that tension, boom, starting to pull you, and you will notice it. It's not like the low tow. Hold your ground just for about a second or so. Okay? Just kind of resist back just a little bit, and then go right into your inflation. Okay? Eyes down the road. I really want you to stay in the road. You can't pull it up and go drifting off to the side as you see, right? If I'm seeing you starting to climb up over the shoulders, I'm aborting the whole thing. So, bow, stand, hold your ground, truck accelerates, and you feel the tension. What do?
Wait a little bit.
Just a second or two. Okay. And then go into your inflation. It's going to be under more tension and stuff, so expect the wing to be a little more dynamic as it comes over. So definitely as it comes up, go into your torpedo, bang, check that surge. Okay? You can't have any of those little frontal things. Okay? So don't just have the hands up. You need to check it because it will probably be a little more dynamic than overhead. Boom, you checked it. Now just start running. And just like the other tow launcher, you'll just keep running, you'll come right off the ground. Ideally, as you're running and feeling lighter on your feet, you're aware of how much you checked, how deep your hands are. And as you're feeling yourself starting to lift, you're easing up. So you come off the ground with good speed, flying speed. Once you're off the ground, be down just for a bit until you can determine that you are climbing. You're not going to sink back down. Once you determine that, hands in flying position, get seated in your harness, follow the truck. Be a few minutes, we're on line. You start drifting off to a side, timely. Do those corrections. A lot less of a correction if you do that correction early rather than letting it really go. Particularly in the first couple hundred feet, if I see you just not controlling the wing and you're starting to really drift off, I'm going to abort the tow and you're going to have all this line that can get snagged off to the side. but you just come in and land as best you can. Okay. So the important thing is control direction. None of this wandering all over the ship. We're way past that. Okay. You have to be a pilot. Okay? Easily done. It's pretty light. Shouldn't have any wind influences. Get seated in the harness, follow the truck, start being aware of the tow line, getting familiar with that a whole bit, going on up. If you want, as you're going up and you're feeling comfortable, you could try some one-handed flying. You know, doesn't matter. Just be ready so that as we get towards the end and I'm coming up on that big tree, I'm going to tell you, okay, you see the big tree off on the north side of the road? As the truck passes that, be prepared to release. And you release on the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. Because that puts me right in a great place where I have less issue bringing the drogue in. It's more for my convenience. Okay? And thus overall.
And if
Me?
a radio failure and I can't hear it.
Exactly. So I'll be talking to you pretty much the whole flight. You know, and if I'm seeing you not responding to certain things, I'm going to start thinking that we have a radio phone. Now, at some point, you should get a headset where you can actually talk back real easy. So we should get that going. You're a great guy. But anyway,
Do you have any more left?
I think I have one.
Good, you can give it to him if you want.
I need to find it.
Okay. If not, I have another one home.
Okay, so anyway, my clue to you that we're going to release, if I suspect you're not communicating, is I'm going to start really S-turning the truck. And not
He's gonna be
just to
flying
get
over
around
there, okay?
a little.
Up there you'll see him. Where's he going to fly?
You're going to see the truck really moving. Okay. You see that happening at all, immediately, hands together, pop the release. Okay, so that's the signal to release if we don't have communication. Okay,
Have fun.
always.
Yes.
So, once you've released from tow, you want to verify you have released from tow, making sure your bridle's split. Okay, no just be flopping. As you get more familiar with tows, what you can do is with that flopping bridle, I just take it and shove it in here and get it out of the way. Or you don't have to do anything. You can just let it flop. That's all fine. But you release from tow, you just keep flying straight to catch up to the truck. I'll get the drogue in. I'll come back online with you. And anyway, when I come back online, I'm going to just say, how you feeling? And if you're feeling fine, let's just do a 90-degree turn to the north and maintain that heading. In which case I'm going to say, okay, you're doing fine. We're going to go do some of this. If you're not feeling good, do a 90-degree turn south.
Okay.
And we say, okay, we're just going to be very mellow. We're just going to do these lazy circles around here. Just keep your eyes looking forward. That's the whole thing. Just look out in front. And that'll kind of stabilize it. Just keep your feet together, ankles crossed. You shouldn't get into oscillations. Oscillations could induce some of that. Just settle down. Quit trying to chase it. Go correct the oscillations. Relax. Breathe deep. And the whole time you're flying, towing up, breathe slow and deep. Relax yourself. If everything's good that way, matter of fact, once you come off tow and you're flying to me, and you're just flying straight, I want you to do a reserve handle identification. So just kind of come over to the side and just look and just see, okay, that's where it is. So I know it's right there. Okay. Then I want you to do a stabilo line ID. The stabilo line comes off your B
Mhm.
riser.
Yeah.
And it's this green one. And just look at it, and it goes all the way out to the tip here. It looks like this little spider web right here on the tip. And I just want you to reach up above the risers, grab the stabilo line, the green one, pull it a little, and make sure it's going out to that little spider right on the tip. And then I want you to just pull it. Make that tip go bing, bing, go. It's not going to do it. You're going to hardly feel any deviation in direction. But you want to be able to quickly ID the stabilo line and pull it. And you should be IDing, always reinforce it. Always know where your stabilo line is.
Which here have a...
Grab that.
He's recording the red dot right there. It's hard to see, I know. The red dot's on. It's good.
So
Yeah,
we'll
you're
do that
recording. It's on now.
Observe ID, stabilo line. Now if you're feeling decent, I'll get on the line, we'll do that. Turn north 90 if you're feeling good, south 90 if you're feeling bad. So I'll just verify you did your reserve ID, stabilo ID, if you hadn't, or even still, come in and, I'll say, here, let me see you pull those tips. Let me see you flap the tips. Just do one at a time. Then we're going to go into just some lazy circles, and primarily with a little weight shift. So we'll start them off with just going straight. Okay, let's do a weight shift to the right, weight shift, and not really pull and brake at all. Just see the wings starting to go to the right. Okay, flatten out, and it'll stop. Weight shift left, come back this way. Flatten out, it'll stop. Okay, weight shift right as it's coming around. Now add a little brake and just get the wing to slowly be coming around. Nice and mellow. And always be looking inside the turns where you're going. Head's looking where you're going the whole time. Okay. We'll do a couple of those. All this is dependent on height. Have you straighten out, and we'll do some pitch oscillations. Okay. For that, we're just doing porpoises. Try and get you the feel of where you are under the wing, whether you're in front, behind, where the wing is on you. So to do that, just be flying along straight. And if you're drifting off, I'm going to tell you, need to have you do a left turn to the south, and then come back to where the truck is. Just try and keep yourself at that field. The stronger the winds are, easier it is to drift off. And if you're not cognizant of it, you'll end up where you can't get back to the LT. But I'll be in your ear if I see you do it. The pitch oscillations, fly straight, pull brake down to about the rib. Let it establish that slow flight just for about a second, and then hands up quick, all the way up, because I want to induce that little dive. Okay, it's not going to be much on that one. So it'll be pull a little brake, hands up quick. It'll come overhead a little bit as you feel your body swinging back under the wing. I want you to then pull again to there, not hold it. Pull and let it fast again. That'll induce a little more of one. Okay? Then on the third one, as your body swings under, pull again, let it quick, and you should get a little more pronounced forward dive. On that one, when you let up, look at the wing, and as you see it coming up past you, anticipate just boom. Just check that a little bit, whatever's necessary. As soon as you feel it stop, it's going, boom. Stops, and ease it right back overhead. What I want you to be able to start showing is that you can control pitch-induced oscillations without over-controlling them. So if that third one dives and you pull and you maybe let up too quick, the wing is going to come right back behind you, and then it'll get into a little oscillation. So we'll just redo it so that on that dive and that forward check, you're able to put the wing exactly overhead. And that is a precursor to being able to fly thermals. Because thermals are going to pitch in your wing everywhere. And if you can't sensitively and accurately control that pitch, you get in, the air just feels more rough than it really is, and you get into situations where you could end up with frontal. Okay. If for any reason it comes overhead, you really induce the wind. And these first ones you won't induce it because you're going to be but if for any reason, if the wing ever comes in front of you and you didn't timely check it, and it actually collapses, the frontal collapse, just hands up. Don't do anything. Just as soon if it goes forward and you feel it collapse, it just hands up, because that wing's going to reinflate on its own. And when it does, it's got some force, so it'll pitch back. So you go hands up, let it reinflate, it'll pitch back, and then you wait for that surge again, and then settle the check. So we'll do some pitch oscillations. And I think by that point, we'll be too low. We'll be low enough to do anything else. So you're going to have the road. Down there, I already put a windsock right by the field. You'll see that orange windsock. You'll see just off on the north side here is a pretty nice store area. That's where you're going to land. So depending on what the wind is doing, say the wind is coming from here, from the east, which is a good chance that's what it's going to be happening today, but it'll go anyway. I want you to kind of get over the windsock and just be doing these lazy turns. Because we're going to do an aircraft approach with a downwind, base, and final. So if the wind was coming from the east, you can decide, do I want to do a right-hand approach or left-hand approach? Meaning you want all your turns from downwind to base to final to be left turns, downwind turns left to base. You're a pilot. You know how to do aircraft approaches, so that's great. So it's the same thing. And then left to final. If you want to, and the best place to descend would be to this side so that you can come right around, and probably doing a left-hand circle so you can come right around, and at the right altitude drop into your downwind, base, and final. So being here gives you that point of entrance into the pattern. We don't do approaches way downwind. Over the sock so we can see the wind direction. You can watch it as you're circling.
That's good.
And as you get to about 200 feet or so,
You just able to drive.
do you a little
I like
higher,
this is good.
about 200 feet.
Peanut butter banana.
As
It's
you're
good with chocolate
coming
chips in it.
around, just
It's
drop
really good.
right into your downwind.
Better when it's fresh.
And if it's
Want some water?
like this, you'll just parallel the road, maybe be a little bit on the south side.
No, you want some water?
I have.
So that
Do you
have
want
a
some
nice
here?
wide box. From here. And as you're going downwind, look at that bare spot. And as you get downwind, and that bare spot is say about 45 degrees, then go ahead and turn onto base. Okay? Now on base, it's very unlikely that you're going to just do a base and then the final, depending on the altitude you went in and pattern. The thing with the base is it's important when you turn on the base is you identify on the ground that base leg, okay, so that you can stay that distance back from the LZ. Okay, meaning when you turn on base, look and see if there's anything you can discern that is like a tree line, whatever. And there is a tree line at that end. And then as you're coming along, if you're ready to turn on the final, when you see that spot being about 15 degrees, Okay. So if you're coming on base, and that spot's here, well, what you're going to do is, here would be your final approach. You'll fly past it. Okay. So you'll fly past a little ways, and then you'll bring it around, and you'll do this figure 8. The reason you identified where that base leg was is so that you can come back to that and fly along. And this you can do all day long as you stay back on that spot. The mistakes people do is they come around and then they're doing S-turns. So they're encroaching every time, and then suddenly they're too close to the spot and too high and they overshoot.
I did that.
So look for that base leg spot and stay there. And then each time you're coming around, you're kind of looking at that spot, looking for these angles, and starting to learn how to judge your glide. Okay? I don't expect you to hit the spot the first time.
I'll put a bolt down and go right on it.
That's good. If you do that, that'd be awesome. And then when you get down to the right altitude, turn on the final, eyes forward.
Well, we'll be probably this way, right? Downwind. The wind is this way.
Yeah. Right now, yeah. I mean, when I put the sock up, it's straight out of the south, in which case you'd have a downwind going across, to the north. But as we get lower, I'll say, okay, start thinking about your approach, get set up for your approach, look at the wind sock. You've got a light east wind, so you're going to have an east wind on your final approach, seeing where you're at. And then I'll be chiming in if I need to give any input on what you're doing. Getting ready to go. Checklist is complete. Give me the take-up slack. Pull the truck away. Just give a little taut on the line.
So tight.
You're going to hold it there. You're going to bow. What's going to happen?
I'm gonna start driving.
Okay, and then what's going to happen?
I'm gonna start pulling harder.
You're going to feel tension. Feel tension increase. What do?
Definitely.
Then do what?
Not much.
Listen.
Being aware
Check it more
to,
aggressively with a little.
and you may or may
Or
not
be ready
have
to
to
check
check
it.
aggressively. It's all about recognizing where the wing is and having connection, feel. If you're not feeling any tension and the wing's overhead, you're running and feeling like heartily loaded, you need to pull down. Again, on that, don't go bam, because then it's going to boom, really shoot up. And I'm going to have takeoff tension. And things are going to get all fucking exciting. So anything you do, other than maybe the initial surge check, which is usually boom, that is fairly pronounced. But then after that, it's as you feel lifting, you're easing up, thinking about trying to keep your feet on the ground as long as you can, but moonwalking, feeling lifted. And then ideally you come up with your hands, you come off the ground with your hands almost all the way up, and then you go into flying position once you're climbing and get into your harness. If you came off the ground with a little too much brake and you go to flying position, what do you think is going to, the result might be?
If you lift up quickly, lift back down.
Yeah, and when you go to flying position, you're pretty much going up to trim, right? So if you came off deep and you're climbing up and you go to flying position, yeah, the wing will then kind of move ahead and you might descend, in which case that's the whole reason to keep your feet down until you feel yourself climbing consistently. Because that way if you are coming to the ground, what do we do as our feet start to touch the ground?
A little break.
Just apply a little brake, nothing extreme. Touch down, run, and come back up. Okay. Once you're in the air and flying, I want you to go to trim position, which is just light brake pressure. Thing we'll do also when you're up there, and you're flying straight, I'll say, let's see if you can identify trim position, which means look up at the wing, take your hands all the way up where there's absolutely no brake pull. Okay? Then slowly pull down till you see the brakes engaging and a little crease starting to happen just forward of the trailing edge. Get the feel of that hand position, where it is, here's, where is it, and the feel. And that's your trim position. So you really, hands never go any higher than that unless it's a frontal or something else that you have to get total hands up. But that is, whenever I say hands up, I mean to trim position. Yeah, so we'll do that too. We'll do that right after you've established you're feeling good. Yeah, so we'll set up the sequence. Once we establish you're feeling good, I'm going to have you flap your stabilo lines. I'm going to have you find trim position. Find it. Okay. Since we're flying nice and straight, with some pitch oscillations. We'll get that pitch inducement going. Then after that, we can work on circles all the way down till you're ready to go into the approach. So establish you're feeling good. North you're good. South you're not. Stabilo, ID, bang, bang, bang. Pitch oscillations, series of 3. Check it, go. Do another set. Check it, go. Another set. May have to, because you're flying straight, they have to turn you and have you come back and do it. And once we've done the pitch oscillations, then we're just going to go right into circles.
Fine stuff.
Perfect one.